Hello. Software synths are complex beasts, and even if we consider ourselves to be quite seasoned experts, there are still habits that you get into. That is, you start to learn ways to adjust particular sections on a synth, and they become like your thing. You learn ways to do things, and those things become a habit. Wouldn't it be useful if the synthesizer itself had a way to break bad habits? Well, today we're going to look at Rob Papen's Predator 3, not starring Danny Glover, a workhorse synth that can do just that. It has many different wavetables, different waveform types. It can have up to 3 of them, and you can modulate and morph them in lots of interesting ways. You've got filters, envelopes, and a whole army of LFOs down here, as well as arpeggiators, XY morphing, just like an insane amount of things. And it's all of this stuff that makes me bring up the kind of simpler way, because you obviously can learn how to use all of these tools inside, but there's actually this really clever, quick system. And it's in here. It's a feature of Predator 3. And that is preset morphing and the intelligent preset variation generator. So I've got a bit of a track idea here, and it's all using Predator 3 presets. And the first one is this kind of super cool ravey house chord. That was swiftly joined by this, which is an arpeggiated sound, another preset from Predator. Joined here by some drums from Punch. Punch is another Rob Papen plugin. This is like a drum synth and sort of sampler, distorted by RP Distort, which is his distortion plugin. I've got a third sound here. This is the bass classic sound, and then a little string kind of mellow sound here. This one. No, I didn't tell the truth because I actually made this sound from scratch. But it's very simple. You just pick sounds, waves, and then you can blend and morph and do interesting things, shift from wave to wave. So I was making this very quickly by just getting a preset, going through this little preset list, picking a sound and getting something down for it. So very quick. You've got 6,100 sounds in the plugin to do that with. So there's loads of choice. I mentioned there was this other way of kind of generating, sort of exploring sounds, and it works like this. So if I go back to this first sound that we started with, which was the really cool, like housey sort of chord. If I go to special, now down here, we can pick 2 presets. And so as the first starting preset, I've got our house chord. But as the second, I've got another preset from, I believe, a similar bank 2. This is a minor 90s chord. And now that sounds like this. And what we can do with this Morph A and B dial is that we can create a new sound that is a morph between the two. So on one side, if I hit generate, it's our house chord. But if we put it in the middle and we hit generate, we get a halfway house between the 2 sounds. And so the key here is picking kind of a different point between the one and the other, one that's maybe a bit more like one or a bit more like the other, and finding just interesting sounds in the combination of the 2. Generate. And now what I've done here is I've selected these little buttons down here, the effects buttons, because we can deselect certain types of things from the morph. And so I was excluding the effects, which keeps it kind of on an even keel. so nice. I really like that. So it's a great way of coming up with variation sounds. Generate. Now, the other thing was this variation preset generator. So if I go to this other sound, that's this one, which is a kind of arpeggiated sound. It's taking advantage of this super cool and deep arpeggiator. So I was just playing very simple notes, which you can see here. And it's arpeggiating them and turning them into something a lot more interesting. And if I go to variation generator and hit generate, you get a completely different variant. Undo, back to where we were, turn it down a bit, hit it again, back. Now. Oh, nice. Oh, that's nice. Really like that. That's such an odd variation. I think a key thing to say here is that, while we are sort of rolling a dice, this intelligent preset generator, it's intelligent because Rob Papen, as he says himself, I don't like kind of bug music. So he's like, I don't like things that are just going to make an unmusical variation. So there'll always be a kind of, there are constraints applied to the variation so that it remains kind of usable. And you can see this just giving us quite interesting variations that are really valid. And there's a mechanism here to save the sound, because I think that's a key thing. Once you hit generate, of course, it's done and changed. You can hit undo, but I believe there is only one layer of undo. I may be mistaken. And we can push these parameter ranges to vary more of the sound. Whoa. That's pretty cool. So this it's just a cool variation system. And the key thing again is just because the computer's suggesting it, it's taking care of a lot of parameters. I'm not having to mess with things, and I get to just judge whether it's good or not. And so if you ever felt like you were a musical fraud, is remember that you are judging whether something is worth keeping or not, and that therefore makes it not random. Even though there was a random process involved, you have picked what gets heard, and therefore it's yours. You can take credit for it. That's how it works. Isn't technology wonderful? So, I just wanted to kind of show you that kind of key feature is this ability to morph between presets and save them, and this ability to create variations. Whilst it may seem sort of overwhelming, there are lots of controls in Predator, and there are lots of presets in Predator as well, 6,100 presets. As a way of exploring sounds, I think this is really gratifying and really simple, because all you do is you hit a button or you pick a sound and find variations. So I've really enjoyed kind of messing around with this, and I think you might too. So if you are interested in Predator 3, not starring Danny Glover, have a look at the links below. We'll put links to Predator 3. And so to play us out, I think we're going to have a little jam with my jam. Thanks. Thanks very much. See you next time.